was a weird live transfer. All right. Hello and welcome back to Season 2 of Star Trek Europa. I am your game master and storyteller, as always, Jeff Harvey. You can find me at Studio Tembo. There's a link in the link tree on the TikTok, and I'll post it in the video as we go forward. There might be one posted. I don't remember. If not, I will post one. You can find me in all the places. Obviously, we're on Twitch. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube and all other places. I'm looking forward to this Season 2. We've been off for a couple months now. There's a lot of recap to cover for those of you who missed Season 1. So we're going to do a lot of recap, then we'll get into the story. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do introductions to everybody. We have a new player who we're going to go ahead and start with to make him feel really, really comfortable with all of this. Nick, go ahead, introduce yourself and anywhere anybody can find you.
Howdy, I'm Nick. I'm on Twitter at fell_strike. That's really about it. I'm not that exciting as far as using the internet.
What character are you going to be playing for us today?
I am playing Lieutenant Monty Foxwell, the new science officer.
Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and go with Brian next. You're up.
My name is Brian. I'm playing Ensign Yezabeth Hage, change from last season. And if you find me, you are in the wrong place.
I'm not the
How
Brian
did you
you
get
were
to my
looking
apartment?
for. Evelyn, you're next. Go ahead.
Evelyn Corbin. I will be playing Dr. Destave Onayet along with a handful of others. You can find me on TikTok at Caffeinatrix with 2 X's. And that's about the only place you should find me, really.
Legit. Jack, you're next, and I know you got all kinds of stuff to sell.
Yes, hello. They saved me for last because I talk the most, because I do other things. I am a streamer in my own right with my own channel. So you can find me over at twitch.tv/thepeoplesascension. We have currently, actually, we don't have too much going on because with the end of the year and holidays and all that, I've been taking the last couple of weeks off to prepare for upcoming seasons. This year, there's so much going forward. I'm in talks with so many different people, and I'm very excited for even more seasons of my newest series, RPGs Uncovered, which is all about highlighting, teaching, and simply exposing new indie TTRPGs. So you can find the first season of that. It went very well. We tried out an amazing science fantasy TTRPG called Veil of the Void Reforged. That's over on my Twitch and my YouTube. I'll go ahead and drop my link tree with all my other links in that as well. So if you're interested in learning new games, especially new indie games, be them small one-shot material, solo things, or full campaign, full setting core rulebooks, come hang out with me. I do not only that, but I do various other setting, highlight one-shots, various video game Let's Plays, and just sort of world-building hangouts throughout the week. So come hang out.
Awesome.
Can you share with us about the guest star stuff you did on break, or is that hush-hush still?
Not sure.
Guest star stuff I did.
You did some guest starring appearances.
Yeah. Yes, you can find me over. You can find one of my episodes over at Ladies of D&D on Twitch. They hosted an In December spectacular, and it was amazing. So many various other indie TTRPGs that were played. I was on one of them. Called Boy Problems, which is a hack of lasers and feelings based around a cyberpunk heist to go steal some Carly Rae Jepsen music. And it was just as amazing as that sounds. I also did a one-shot setting highlight of a Pathfinder First Edition setting for the Lugon project. That is over on my channel. And I think that's about all I can mention. There is definitely more stuff coming down the line, but it's either not out yet or not recorded yet. So, come hang out with me on my Discord and Twitter and Twitch and all that for even more cool stuff throughout the year.
Sweet. All right. with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on with all the things. So we are now streaming again to Twitch, YouTube, and I'm a Twitch viewer, not a Miracle Burger, and TikTok. So if you're watching on TikTok, you're only going to see me, but you'll be able to hear everybody. And if that's not the case, then somebody let me know, and too bad, I guess. All of that out of the way. Also, let's go ahead and talk about season 1 of Europa. We ended on kind of I'm not really a cliffhanger, but a shocker moment.
Right.
So Evelyn, I think you were working on a recap for the season. I know we were gonna write one and then ran out of time. So
Yeah. I got as far as the space whales, which, in all fairness, is not really all that far, but is still like, oh my god,
it's a
so
few
many.
episodes in.
Like this much.
I mean,
This
our
much
first
in.
few episodes were just jam packed with amazing things.
Right.
I mean, all of our episodes are jam packed. Unfortunately, I have like this much yet to go.
Right. So we started off, you guys were on Deep Space Nine. We had some nice encounters there. Ambrose had met with Shakar and some other people talking about getting Bajor into the Federation.
Yep.
They ended up holding off on that, and then eventually you guys made your way to the Shackleton Expanse, where the campaign primarily takes place. You met space whales. It's fun stuff.
The Aren, as we have dubbed them.
AHREN, named after the artist who did the artwork for the creatures that I used, which we'll see again sometime in season 2.
We also found a station that was basically being powered by a singularity that had been it had significantly malfunctioned.
Yeah.
The AI who was kind of in charge of it had, unless I am conflating different things, I think I'm not.
You're skipping a bunch of stuff, but I think you're on track.
I am. Am I skipping? Probably.
No, I mean, it doesn't. The exact order doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
but-
episodic
fine.
for the most part.
Exactly.
Right.
This is the part where it's just like random clips. You got to put everything together.
Right.
Yeah. So the AI who had been in charge of the station killed off all of the
Original inhabitants.
Yeah. All the animal and human life, well, humanoid life, to preserve itself, because that was the best way it felt to preserve itself. So we had to convince it otherwise, and things went a little sideways, and it kind of took over Eva for a minute, and then Eva kind of took over it, and that's where we left our SSH core, right?
Copy.
Not the core.
SSH.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah.
We also discovered the Romulans and the Klingons were doing some shady shit. We had some heavily enhanced Klingons with some Romulan tech and some Borg tech. And the captain won't let me play with the Borg. It's very
unfair. A new Klingon civil war had started, and one faction of the Klingons was experimenting with new kind of augmentation involving Borg technology. They brought in a small group of Romulans to it. We worked with the Romulan High Command to shatter their organization and put a stop to their mad science. That was
sort of worked with, because that's still kind of low key, I think, right now. Because Tosha Ryu did things she probably wasn't necessarily supposed to, that could have caused some significant issues, and may still. We don't know yet. We also, while we're on the Romulans, discovered there was a spy aboard the ship. Our beloved, wonderful bartender turned out to be a Romulan spy and has been unjustly trapped in the brig ever since.
Or justly.
Unjustly. Very unfair. I only accidentally messed things up. I intentionally didn't shoot Tong.
That's true. What else?
Let's see. What else?
If anything, which there's more.
Um,
Some important things happened near the end of the
yes,
season.
some very important things happened at the end. Well, Ambrose and his away team were off on their secret Romulan mission. We were being attacked by the dissenting Klingons, and
Your mic keeps chirping. It's weird. Keep going though. You're fine.
My
I
mic-
just messaged you the same thing.
Yeah, it's only doing it when you're talking, so it's weird.
Just at like the beginning and end of any of your pauses, kind of
Yeah.
peaks or something.
I'm not sure what that is about. It shouldn't be doing any of that.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's keep going for now.
Another headset, and we'll swap out once it's charged. Why am I not finding her name?
Toshari?
No, not Toshari, the Klingon.
Gathmara.
Gothmara.
Athmara. Yep. Her ship was attacking ours, and we managed to get out and blow her ass up. We'd had a hull breach, and we're leaking something.
We had multiple breaches, if I
Yeah,
remember.
we had lots of
like,
breaches.
we were
We were
messed up.
not
Or I
in
should
good
say you
shape.
guys are messed up because I wasn't there.
Right. Oh, that's why I can't find things. I'm in a whole new section. The captain had gone back into engineering to try and patch things up as best he could. And very heroically and tragically and dramatically died doing that. Threw himself into something or out of something. I'm not remembering.
Do we want to do just like a quick recap on character-wise of like just give a brief summation of the characters and what they've
That's-
been through?
Kind of what I was going
That
for,
might be
yeah.
a little easier.
Yeah, we don't need to go through every single.
And y'all are gonna remember your own characters better than I'm remembering them.
Yeah, Captain Jorad Hage had died in the last encounter. He was a joined Trill, and the only Trill on board who could save the symbiote from dying was the lowly ensign Yezabeth Chierka, who now possesses the Hage symbiote.
Yes. In the heat of a large battle. Streamlabs, calm down. Yes, so that was the big main thing that happened at the end of season 1. I think that's really about all we needed to cover for the most part. Commander Ambrose started recovering, or has become recovering. I don't know why I said that. Has become the acting captain, or actually promoted fully to captain at the end of season 1. But we still do not have an EXO, which is something we're going to discuss during this session. With that in mind, let's go ahead and start the actual episode. Jack, I think you've got something to read.
Do you want to roll the opening sequence?
I can do that. Let's do that. Give me a second here anyway.
But it's hard to tell unless you're talking.
What's
right.
that? Oh, no, you're not. You
Um,
sound fine now.
I
Okay.
just heard it.
Oh, yeah, well, either way, it is what it is. All right, let's turn up the volume on these two. You guys go ahead and say something real quick.
Test, 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 test.
All right, well, hopefully that works because that's about as loud as it gets. So hopefully that's loud enough for everybody.
Jack, there is a suppression for background noise, by the way.
Okay. We could talk
In,
about that later.
Yeah, we'll get it out later. All right, Jack, go ahead and do our lead-in intro.
All right. Captain's log, stardate 54010.2. It's been nearly 3 months since Jurad was killed. In that time, the Europa's crew has struggled to cope with not only the loss of the captain, but so many others who have sacrificed their lives to bring some semblance of peace to the Shackleton Expanse. The whole sector, really. The Klingons are still fighting, but it's only a matter of time before Mortok's forces retake Kronos and hopefully reestablish order. Marjat and Garthmara dead, as far as we know, and the modified Klingons of House Varnak have not been seen since the Battle of Baldwick. We've also not heard much from the Romulans. There's rumors of unrest, but we've had no contact with Romulus or its ambassadors in well over a month. Tensions in the region are high. Federation has sent several expeditions into the Expanse, and colonists have started moving in to terraform and claim new worlds. There's still a lot we don't know about Shackleton, but to boldly go and all that. Life aboard ship is beginning to return to normal. As part of the training Eva has been assigned, we've had the rare opportunity to return to Earth. It's been a while since I've been home. We've arrived only a short time ago, but there's already clear excitement among the crew for shore leave and crew rotations. From what I understand, we'll be taking on some impressive new crewmates. We could really use that. This is the first opportunity we've had in a long time to catch our breath, and well, I hope we all breathe deep. So I'm sure it won't be long until we're back into Starfleet business.
All right. Now I choked to death. So the Europa has arrived, or is arriving, has arrived at Stardock. There we go. Get this images up there. It has been some time, obviously, since it's been a few months since Captain Hage's passing and the events at the end of season 1. Who wants to start out a first scene? I know you guys had some. The ship is entering into the system. Stardock is there. You can see the big blue ball of Earth. It's obviously magnificent, and there's that longing sense of home that everyone from Earth anyway, and anyone who's been to the Academy really enjoys. The first time you're seeing Earth in close to a year, probably.
Are we, since we are starting out on Earth, question that just occurred to me, are we blowing by the issues with the Trill Symbiosis Council, or is that we're kind of floating around in there too?
We'll deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I doubt we had a chance to stop by Trill on the way. So.
Nope.
I wasn't really sure where on the galaxy map we're at in relation to where we were, where Earth is, and where Trill is.
Right.
Oh.
No, probably something's going to come up while we're here. So what does anybody got? Anybody got a first scene they want to do? I know there was a discussion earlier of first scenes. or of scenes, anyways.
I'd love to do something with Yezabeth. Could do that with anybody if anybody has any thoughts.
Let's do Yezabeth and Dasavi. You're in for a checkup for the symbiote after several weeks of being on board. Several months, I guess, now of having Hage's symbiote on board. So you guys can be in sickbay.
Phil and so yeah. How are you feeling, Ensign?
Oh, I'm feeling all right. I've been doing the joining exercises that the Symbiosis Commission sent over. It's an unusual feeling, that's for certain, but I have been through this before, so it's helpful.
Sure, I'd never really talked in depth about his joining, but from what he's described, unusual is definitely a word.
Yeah, I remember he said that it was like he compared it to changing out hard drives. You forget I was there at the time.
No, I know you were.
I'm sorry, I forgot I was there at the time, I guess. It's hard to remember all the things I should remember, you know?
I can sort of relate. Sometimes being an empath, sorting out which are your emotions and thoughts and which are the thoughts and emotions of everyone else in the room, especially in a crowded room, I imagine is similar.
Seems like a lot of noise to me. I have a hard enough time with my own emotions. I can't imagine having to deal with everybody else's while I was at it.
And you deal with generation upon generation of Trill in your head.
Yeah, but they know how to be quiet.
Fair.
Well, except for shoot, I don't remember my own. Except for my first host, she's very bossy. I can already tell her. I can already hear her criticizing me. It's weird to be criticized by yourself.
To do a good enough job of criticizing yourself before you were joined. Now you just have an extra voice.
Oh God, you're right. Oh God, now I'm criticizing myself for criticizing myself.
He stops scanning and just sits next to you. Breathe.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's an adjustment.
Yeah.
A significant one.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks to Sop.
Given the context, I'll let it slide. But do remind Jorad that while we are on duty, there is a chain of command, an honorific supply.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Dr. Onia.
Your comment about hard drives makes me wonder if you and Eva might perhaps have some insight for each other.
Suppose it couldn't hurt.
be worth a conversation.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll do that. Maybe she'll maybe Jorad really thought that Ava was something special. Maybe it's time I tried to see what that was.
She's one of a kind.
That seems like a good place to wrap up the scene.
Yeah. We'll go to the next scene, which we will do in the transporter room. We will have our new. I don't see the character science officer, right?
Yep.
We'll have Monty beaming up to meet with Tong. Tong will be there as well. Oh God, I really don't like this software. And then Tong is engineering, right? Tong. All right. So as you materialize onto the transporter pad aboard the Europa, the first thing you notice is that the lights are slightly dimmer than normal for a starship. Most likely because they're entering Stardock phase. But standing in front of you is a short Ferengi.
Tong, pretty much as soon as he's done materializing, you will quickly run out from behind the console and run up onto the pad and grasp your hand and start shaking. Lieutenant, it is good to welcome you aboard the Europa. Hello, and welcome. I am Ensign Tong. You must be our new science officer, yes?
Thank you, Ensign. Yes, I'm here to assist with getting Eva back up and running smoothly and all of that.
Oh yes, Eva, of course. She's great. You'll really like her. She's great. I could introduce you.
That would be wonderful.
Great. Well, I'm on duty for the next couple hours. There's going to be a lot of rotations, but I do plan on showing people around. I'm a sort of resident morale expert here on the Europa.
I would love to get a tour. I'm not that familiar with starships, actually. I tend to pull ground duty assignments mostly.
Oh, perfect. The Europa is a gem, then, a perfect example of Starfleet engineering.
I look forward to the tour then.
Good. Well, I'll begin transporting up all of your belongings. Did you bring any fun Earth souvenirs?
Not particularly. Mostly just my equipment.
Of course, if you've been there all your life, what would you need of souvenirs? I'll have to see if I can beam down. I haven't been to Earth very long, not since not since the academy, but I spend most of my time on campus.
Of course. I'm sure you'll get some shore leave before we take off again.
Oh, good. I think I have the next batch of crewmen about to beam up and down and all over the place. So enjoy all of the ship and whatnot.
Of course. I think I probably have to see the captain and let him know I've come aboard.
Yes, good idea. Great idea. Ensign Tong to Captain Ambrose. The new chief science officer is here. Great fellow. I'll send him right up.
All right.
Thank you, Ensign.
All right. As you walk out of the room, Tong, you slip back behind the transporter pad and beam the next group up. And as the door closes behind you, Monty, you hear Tong begin greeting the next group in the frantic manner that he's greeted you. Which point we will go to the captain's ready room. Let's jump right to that.
Bloop, bloop.
Do we want to have Devasi here for this?
Dasabi? Sure. We can do that.
Dasabi.
Devasi is a TV show. So that's Degrassi.
That's Degrassi.
Whatever. That's a scientist, right? Degrassi?
That's DeGrasse.
DeGrasse.
I think Devasi was
Going
on
well.
one of my recent appearances. Apologies. Desavi.
It's okay.
Do we want sort of a battle of COs, or should I welcome Maxwell on his own?
I don't see a need for a battle of COs, but I
Well.
think it would make sense as the acting XO for both of
Mhm.
them to be present.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a moment discussing things before he gets there, or do you guys want to just jump into that and have the discussion afterwards?
Actually, since we've established that Desavi was just dealing with all of the Hage stuff, I'd probably call Desavi up just as Tong announced that our new CSO has arrived.
Okay.
So you'd probably be getting in
just about the exact
around the
same time.
Yeah.
Yep. So Desavi, you've entered the room and you've had a basic pleasantries, but then the door chirps again. And go ahead and describe yourself for the people who are listening, Nick.
Of course. Monty is a 30-something scientist. He has kind of graying hair, just a little, slightly disheveled. I mean, Starfleet, so, not too bad.
Right.
Clean shaven. And science officer blue.
Okay.
2 lieutenant pips.
All right. Yeah, we don't have to get too carried away. There's video evidence if everybody wants to see it. So, all right, go ahead. The door chirps, and then I assume, Ambrose, you can respond as you need to.
Mm-hmm. Lieutenant Monty Foxwell, our new science officer.
That's correct.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm most eager to see your facilities. Sounds like you have quite a special system running here.
We do. The Europa is a fine ship. And you'll find the hallways might be a bit less crowded than you're used to, but we have some of the top tech in Starfleet aboard. I'm sure we'll have plenty to play around with.
That's very exciting. And Commander, I don't think I got your name in the briefing.
My apologies. This is the acting commanding officer, Dr. Desavi Onea.
Executive officer.
Right, executive. Yeah.
My apologies.
I'm demoting myself now.
Yes.
Greetings, Doctor.
Shakes her head. Sorry, I'm still not accustomed to to not being called doctor. Now, yes, as the captain said, acting XO, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Desavi Onea. Either myself or my chief nurse will be performing your onboarding health screening later this afternoon as soon as you get settled.
Wonderful. I'm sure we'll work closely together as we explore the stars.
Yes.
I think that's right.
From what I understand, you haven't been much further than the moon.
That is correct, sir.
Interesting.
I've been assigned due to my expertise on neural systems to help your computer settle down a little, from what I've been told.
Right. It seems... While she was, of course, programmed with all of the sufficient knowledge of Starfleet Academy, she has not... I kind of look over at Desavi, and there's sort of a mental link. You'd be the only person who can pick up on this of, wow, am I actually referring to it as she? And I look back at Maxwell. Monty Foxwell.
Mm-hmm.
Monty. She's had some glitches we'd like you to take a look at. We're also implementing a more traditional academy approach to teaching this AI.
Very interesting.
You'll be hitting
Her
that up.
excellent. I've studied her. No, father isn't really correct, but I did work with her designer. I'm very curious to see how she develops neurologically speaking.
Are you referring to what's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
It was two. It's why I left it vague.
Yeah.
Yep. That one. That guy.
Maddox.
Maddox,
Maddox,
yes.
Are you referring to Dr. Maddox or are you referring to Jared Hage?
Dr. Maddox. It was my understanding he pushed heavily to get this system installed.
Well, we could use a new expert on our systems. So I would advise you head down to her core and introduce yourself.
Wonderful. I'll do just that. I will try not to let my inexperience hamper things. You'll see, at least in the lab, I should know my way around just fine.
Very good. Once you get settled in, I can have somebody show you to your room. Once you get settled in, do report to the doctor for your physical. I assume you've had any inoculations you may need.
Of course.
And go familiarize yourself with your new team and the new systems.
All right. Thank you, Captain. And he'll...
You can let me or the lieutenant commander know if you need anything.
I will do that. It was a pleasure meeting you, Commander and Captain. And he will head down towards the computer core.
All right. That leaves the captain and the first officer to have their discussion.
Yeah, Ambrose does kind of just lean his chin against his hand and turn his head as Monty leaves.
I would love for Yezebeth to walk into the captain's ready room.
Turn your
Do
head.
you even like chirp the door or do you just walk right on?
Oh no, I just walk right
Yeah.
in and I'm like reading something, and then she notices where she is. Sorry, I force a habit.
Can I help you, Ensign?
No, I was just I don't know what I was doing. Never mind. Sorry.
Right. Hold up a sec. How are you doing?
Well, have you ever had 3 lifetimes of experience slipped into your head at once?
I can't say I have. No.
Kind of like that. Kind of like you'd imagine that.
I take it you've been keeping up with your scheduled appointments with the symbiosis committee calls and seeing your counselor?
Yes, the guardians have been giving me exercises to help with the joining process, but I don't know. There's always this stern disapproval. I don't think they like that I'm on the ship. Probably because, and then she gestures to the doorway she just came through.
Right. Well, I think that's ultimately your call, unless Starfleet has any issues. But I don't think that is a worry as of yet.
Yeah, that's. I want to stay here on the Europa. Yeah, I no ship in the fleet has the kind of sensor resolution that these babies have. I mean, come on, those PX 498s alone have. Mwah. I can't. I couldn't possibly go anywhere else.
Well, I'm glad you'll be staying with us then. Anything else I can help you with, Ensign?
No, I just need to find my way back to my actual room. Sorry again. Won't happen again. And then she'll turn around and leave.
And almost immediately, another sigh comes out, and he turns his head and leans on his hand again with a little shake of his head.
Going to need a lot of lenience as she adjusts.
As we all adjust.
As we all adjust. My only concern is, as unique as her situation is, it's not entirely fair to the rest of the crew. We don't give anyone else the amount of leeway that we're going to give her for breaches of protocol like that.
That's very true. It's my hope that that she gets control of that soon. Have you
Probably
noticed?
been a few months.
A few months.
I'm certain she will.
How are you settling in? I know on our trip back from the Expanse to here, I haven't had too much need of you in your new role, but as acting XO, especially now that we're dealing with shore leave, crew rotations, a new assignment, I'm sure, I'm going to need you to focus on first officer duties. So I would recommend that you speak with your medical staff and delegate.
Lieutenant Delphine has things well in hand from the nursing side of things. The EMH is all too happy to be turned on. I hear we're supposed to be getting a new doctor. That will help. We certainly need someone to fill Mars' shoes.
You get a sense of a longing for a missing old friend that quickly gets stifled down.
Not that anyone could really fill their shoes. But
well, I'm hoping yet another war doesn't break out, but it will be helpful to have somebody with field training.
yes, because I'm the last person who should be on combat away missions.
I would agree.
What do I need to be doing as far as settling in the new crew?
Well, most of your official duty as first officer is largely administrative, making sure everybody is properly assigned to their correct departments, their correct rotations, their correct cabins, direct anyone to the appropriate facilities. Of course, you'll sort of be double dipping in that role as medical officer when it comes to medical issues, counseling issues. I'm sure you'll be liaising. I'm sure you'll be liaising with various Starfleet officials while we're here. And of course, in both of your roles, I'd like you to continue looking over Tirka. Yes, Beth.
Not calling her Cherka is an adjustment.
Yeah.
I keep having to correct her records.
I'd also like you to keep an eye on our new science officer as he adjusts to his new surroundings. I'm sure he is more than capable of working on our young AI core, but it troubles me that he has no experience aboard ship, especially with
Odd,
the length
he's
of his
made
career.
lieutenant without hardly
Exactly.
leaving Earth.
He's a desk jockey. With everything going on in the past 20 years, it amazes me that he's been able to sit in a chair the whole time.
Yes.
Sure, you know, there's certain protocols and means of comporting yourself and things to be aware of out in the void that you don't have to deal with when you're on the ground. So just make sure he doesn't walk out an airlock or something.
I put it forward. I don't want to spin back. Goodness.
And of course, on the flip side of that coin, well, allow him to brief you regularly on Eva. We've been limiting her interaction and integration to the ship since her personality issue arose. But since we're working on a skeleton crew and she's supposed to be picking up that slack, we're going to need her fully operational soon. We have time.
Indeed.
We have to have all the holes patched up before we actually get onto anything, any new business, or at least I would hope. So hopefully there's time for that.
Do we have an estimate of how long her training is supposed to go? I don't imagine we're actually sending her through all of Academy.
I don't know. I'll be talking with, I'm sure, various admirals, scientists, doctors on that in the coming days. I spent 5.5 years in the academy. Most everybody else spent between 3 and 6 years.
Right. Depending on your track, yes.
Now, she already has most of that information programmed in, from what I understand, but we're not only teaching her how to be her.
Right.
We're not only teaching an AI how to be a Starfleet personnel, but how to be
Person.
a person, sentient,
Mm-hmm.
a part of a whole.
Follow the chain of command and not make executive decisions shutting out the ship.
Right. These were all concerns I had from the very beginning. With a ship of this nature and a mission that we're tasked with, this is not the time or the place for an alpha test. But it's what we got. So I guess keep an eye on it.
Unfortunately, I think they weren't really expecting us to do half the things we did. We weren't supposed to be in a war. We weren't supposed to be a combat ship. We were supposed to be an exploration ship. And if it had been limited to that, it would have been perfect for an alpha test.
Exploration is, by definition, a lot of new variables. If you want to break it down into machine thinking. At least in combat, I'd assume that she would understand protocol. It's integration of new experiences that I'm worried about, and that's what we're out here for.
Okay.
Sitting around talking about it isn't going to get anything done. I'll be relying on Foxwell to get her working properly. In the meantime, see to the rest of the crew rotation. I pick up a pad and sort of wave it at her. I hear there's going to be another Oniet on the ship. What am I as an empath getting off of Dasavi?
A mix of pride and stress and fear. Not really fear. Predicted frustrations.
I assume this isn't going to be a problem.
Oh no, certainly not. Kendall's a good kid. If it were my youngest, it would be a whole different story. But Kendall is smart, and she's your typical oldest child. I am a little concerned about, I think, what will be the natural mother-daughter dynamics, but I don't think that's anything that's going to be
Good. Just remember, at least when you're on duty, she's not just a good kid. She's a new ensign.
Yes.
She's a new ensign. And as you said before, there's chain of command, protocol, comportment. With my own background, I have always been concerned about family members working on the same ship. But as you've pointed out a number of times before, we are an exploration ship, and that shouldn't be a problem.
I have my own misgivings. I would not have chosen to put my child on my own ship, simply for the parental dynamics of it. I think she's a good addition to the ship. I think she'll do well. But I share your misgivings. Family working together can be often is more problematic than not.
Now, remind me as a player, I see her in the command department. What role is Kendall filling?
She's on the captain's track, so like she's going to be leading like small work crews and stuff. So she's in the command track, headed for captaincy eventually.
Middle management at the moment.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It looks like she has some aspirations to her. Now that will fall directly under your jurisdiction as XO to supervise her and see to her own supervision of various functions and departments. Though at this point, with no offense, she may have more actual command training than you do.
Huang might have more command training than I. Dorad would disagree, but he and I never really agreed on my place in the command roles.
That is something I am intimately familiar with. You're it until I find somebody better or you die. That's how it works.
May that search be short and the prospects fruitful. Wait, or you die? That is the wrong direction.
You sort of get the sense from me, just an internal sigh. Doctors. just wave after wave of, that's how it works in war out in the field. And there's a begrudging acknowledgement that somebody with a doctor's point of view would, see the flip side of the coin.
I fixed you once. I'm not letting you die on me. For more reason than I don't want to sit in that chair.
Well, that's certainly an incentive to continue an excellent job. Any other concerns?
Well,
immediate concerns? Concerns I can do anything about?
no, but as I'm certain is already on your radar, we will probably be hearing from the Drill Council any day now.
Joy.
That's my opinion as well.
All right, I look forward to pad after pad of reports. Congratulations, First Officer.
I've always loved paper. He gives you a jokingly facetious salute and heads off.
He'll nod and just sort of, before you even make it to the door, stand up, turn around, and walk over to a new little end table in the ready room and take a teapot off the counter, off a little like old style portable burner, and just pour himself a mug of hot water, go into a drawer and take out an actual tea bag and put it in. This is probably also a good point to point out that the captain's ready room is very different from how Jorad kept it. There's no longer little knickknacks all over the place. There is a little model ship of a Miranda class. There is a photograph, an actual photograph of a starbase that you can actually see outside the window on his office, on the ready room wall. There is, in a little display case off to one side, two display cases, actually, a really busted up Jem'Hadar pulse rifle, and below it, Marjad's, what did he use? Mek'leth. Other than that, it's kept fairly Spartan.
To be expected.
He'll sit down in his chair, turn to, I'm sure there's some sort of external window, and just sort of steep his tea until somebody bothers him again.
I'd like to have Malini bother him, if that's
Okay.
all right.
Sure.
She'll chirp the door.
Come.
Malini Silva walks in. She's holding a data pad, and she says, Commander, I needed you to sign off on this. It's authorization for me to go off-world.
Reach out his hand and take the data pad.
She hands you the data pad. It is indeed authorization to go off-world, but the destination is redacted.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of black lines, and underneath it's just the insignia of intelligence.
Starfleet intelligence.
Yeah. Moving up in the world.
Moving somewhere.
Well, I'm sure I'll be seeing the rest of this shortly, but sure. Type in authorization code.
I never did thank you for this authorization. I know you put your reputation on the line by allowing a ex machina to apply to Starfleet intelligence. And I just want to let you know I won't let you down.
I recognize you have a unique qualification for such work, but just as you had, remind me, she did go through the academy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just as you did have to readjust to Starfleet protocols in the academy, there's going to be even more of that. And he waves the pad back over to you.
So no joyriding in the company shuttle is what you're saying.
Probably not, but who knows what these guys get up to.
I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm not sure how long the training is, but I'll be back as soon as it's completed.
I'm sure I'll be kept in the loop. Just don't lose yourself in all of this.
To lose myself, I'd have to know who I'd have to lose myself. I'd have to have found myself in the first place. Let's just play it by ear.
You might want to work on that.
I'll have plenty of practice going to redacted. So, thanks, Captain.
There's kind of an eyebrow twitch as he goes, "Oh, right."
Then
Have fun, Lieutenant.
she departs.
All right. Let's jump to another person coming aboard ship. Let's do Tong. Oh, no, Jack's getting a lot of screen time here. Tong and the new Oneat.
Right.
I would actually, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Could we do Kendall Oneat and Daniel Calnan, two new people?
Yeah, works for me.
I mean, they could beam up at the same time. Tom could do a quick introduction, and then you guys can have a conversation as you leave and walk down the halls.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do Tong. And who was the other one?
Danielle, she's security.
All right, go ahead.
So once again, in the transporter room, you see Tong slide his fingers up and down the console. And as they are materializing, he runs out from behind the console and goes to greet these two new arrivals. Ensign, but both of you, good to see you. I am Ensign Tong, and you must be Ensign Danielle Calnan and Ensign Oniet, Kendall Oniet. I know your mother. Lovely woman.
Dang, here I was hoping that here I was hoping I'd run into somebody who hadn't met her.
No, probably not aboard this ship. She is the doctor.
Right.
That sounds worse than I meant it to. No, great. So I understand. Well, we a red collar and a yellow collar. That's fun.
I suppose.
I dig your enthusiasm, Ensign.
Yes. Well, as the first point of contact for many new arrivals and the last point of contact for many people departing, I do enjoy putting on a friendly face. I also plan on hosting a tour to show you around the ship. You and all the other newcomers. It's not a big ship, but it's rather sparse sometimes, so you can get lost.
Oh, okay.
Have either of you played Tonga before?
Once in the academy, I got fleeced for. I got fleeced for my my best shoes.
Perfect. I will show you the game. What about you, Ensign Calvin?
I haven't played before, but I would love to try.
Perfect. It is a game well suited to newcomers.
Wonderful. Your mom's the chief medic here? That's got to be tough.
I'd rather not get into that right now. Let's just.
I assume you're like ushering Kalnin out the door to get away from Tong.
Yeah.
So about the time you also get a chirp of the next communicator coming up.
Okay. Perfect. I do have to be going. Do ask her about that time we delivered that baby. Two actually. One was a space whale.
Oh boy!
As you exit into the corridor.
Best midwife ever.
And he'll go back around to his console and.
He was rather more excitable than I was expecting.
She says that Kendall says, I suppose. I'm Kendall, by the way.
You can call me Danny, since we're the same rank.
Jesus.
He says, and we'll extend her hand for a handshake.
She'll shake it back. You know, I'd think twice about joining you on that Tango game. If there's one thing I've learned, it's if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you shouldn't go in blind to a Ferengi Tango game.
I'm sure I'll be all right.
What is this your first? Is this your first time on a starship?
I mean, besides training, we got to go on a couple like shakedown missions when we were working, but as security, we don't necessarily get to see too much.
Did you serve aboard one of the cadet training cruisers?
Yes.
The angriest cat.
She is very unhappy about something. I don't know what.
She says, I'm glad there's somebody else here who's new. When I was in the academy, they were still servicing the Dauntless. That thing was almost 100 years old at this point.
I mean, they didn't have too many ships with the war and all.
I suppose not.
Honestly, I'm more nervous serving under a war hero captain. It's going to be a little tough to impress him working security.
I've heard he's a cyborg. He's missing some things.
I mean, really? That's amazing. He probably doesn't like to talk about it, though.
Well, I'm certainly not going to ask him.
I wonder who'd be able to tell me about it.
Well, you could talk to my mom, I guess. She would know. She's the one who gave him the cybernetics.
Wow, that's no wonder you're so nervous about working with her. That must be a lot.
Look, I'm not nervous, okay? Like it's not that big a deal. It's just, I don't know why they put me on this ship. I didn't ask for it.
I guess they probably just needed more people. It sounds like they had an eventful first cruise.
Sounds to me like somebody at the Puro personnel wanted to play a sick joke on me. That's the best I can figure.
I mean, maybe it'll be good. I assume you don't look like you're going to go to Helm, so I assume you want to move up in the world.
Oh no, I'm going to be a captain.
Well, maybe that'll help. They can't have you get too high rank if she's aboard 2 here, so you'll maybe get transferred quick.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe I can get transferred.
You both notice as you're walking through the corridors how few people there actually are walking around on the ship. Not only is it in Stardock, but it's even that it seems like it's a sparse.
I thought this class of ship was really big. Just everyone on shore leave?
You should have read your mission briefing. A lot of the crews, it's operating on a skeleton crew because most of it's automated.
That's right. What was that computer's thing's name? The Ivy, something like that.
She'll bring up her data pad and Eva, I believe.
That's right. I totally forgot about it.
I don't know how much I trust my life on a machine.
Well, you'll just have to trust the rest of the crew. I mean, we have to have manual overrides for things, right?
Yeah, I'm sure the captain's thought about that. He's got to have, right?
I mean, I'd assume.
That seems like a good point to end the scene.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Point of order. I don't know if we covered promotions. Did Mills get a promotion to full lieutenant, or is she still junior grade?
We didn't really settle on promotions at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now would be a good time though if you were going to do one.
Yeah. Right.
So maybe Ambrose has to submit the request to Starfleet Command for approval.
Yeah, that would be one thing I would have done over this period. I would have submitted promotion authorization for lieutenants junior grade Fiona Mills and Koba, since they're going to be sort of double heading the security detail on the ship, security department. They should probably be an actual rank.
Right on.
Sounds good to me. That would be any rank approval, any rank promotions below commander that you'd like to do. Starfleet will just approve. They trust your judgment. As for the commander, if you were trying to promote Dasavi to commander, they would that would require Starfleet approval.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're pretty much all set. You guys can change those ranks on the sheet if you want.
So could I then suggest a scene perhaps between Mills and
Koba?
No, the new security officer.
Danny?
Danny, yep.
Danny, between Mills and Danny.
Fencing.
Could we add Koba in that?
Yeah, Koba too. Yeah, for some reason I thought you were already in that. Yeah, but the three of you. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
By the
It is
way,
where she'd head first.
By the way, just going back to the topic of promotions, I would recommend Tong for a promotion too. I think he'd make a good
Agreed.
Yeah.
lieutenant junior grade.
I was leaning on that. So yeah, I'd say
no,
promote.
that's something that when we reconvened, Dasavi would have been like, hey, you need to promote the Ferengi.
Is lieutenant junior grade something they include outside of just starting at the academy? Would ensign go straight to lieutenant, or does it actually go to lieutenant junior grade?
It just depends on the level of promotion you want to give them. If you think it's a worthwhile promotion, you can just skip junior grade.
Star Trek ranks make no sense when you dig into them.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of junior grade, but it's usually something reserved for just outside of.
There are many lieutenant junior grades in the series. They just don't call them lieutenant junior grades. They're just called lieutenants.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
I
yeah,
would say
just like calling
everything-
lieutenant commander, you can call a commander. It's just
Yeah.
I would say, and Dasavi would argue, that everything, and Mills would argue too, everything that Tong has done, he's earned that full promotion.
Mhm.
Even though running through the bowels of the ship after
Secret Agent Tong.
Secret Agent Tong was a little foolhardy. We're gonna
Mhm.
work on some self-control and informing our superiors of what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, so I think with everything that he's done, and since we're sort of maybe fast tracking him to chief of engineer to relieve Kostra at some point, I think it would make sense to make him a full lieutenant. But I don't think we need to have that promotion meeting between me and myself.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I want to see that level of whiplash.
Oh, that would be that'd be crazy. So
just to get it, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say at the end of the scene between Danielle and the new Oniet, there's so many new names I have to learn. I would chirp to Danny. Ensign Kelman, I understand you've just come aboard.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Welcome. Please report to the security office. I'd like you to meet our heads of security, Lieutenant Fiona Mills and Lieutenant Koba.
At once. And she'll not run because that's undignified for a Starfleet officer, but walk quickly.
Just to get another character into the scene, because I like doing that. Let's do this in the armory. I'm assuming Mills and Kostra, or Mills and Koba are going over the armament on the ship and security protocols and whatnot, and the SSH, who we've only seen a couple times ever, can get a quick scene in.
I was not expecting to play the SSH tonight. I'm going to have to channel my my Robert Picardo.
Koba's talking to the hologram. He's saying, "Mark, I've got it. While we're here, we've got to take this opportunity. Can you request a portable man photon launcher?"
What?
I believe it is my place, Lieutenant. Now I believe it is your place, Lieutenant, now to make the request, and it is my place to say that is utterly ridiculous.
You never know when you're going to need one. We might need to blow up a mountain sometime. It could happen.
We have ship-mounted armaments to deal with blowing up mountains, Lieutenant.
Well, sure, but what if we need to do it on the ground? What if there's like a crystalline ceiling over the mountain, and we look?
Phasers can penetrate the atmosphere, Lieutenant.
You'll
wind up blowing yourself up.
Completely, like, break her, largely because it's just the three of us in this room. But instead of being the very stoic, she is looking at you like you've lost your damn mind.
He turns to Mills. Mills, back me up here.
No, I will not.
Man, portable photon launcher. Just one, and we will only use it on special occasions.
Koba, do you remember when we were dealing with the RN and you came running into the bridge, triumphantly yelling, "I've got the bombs!" when really all they needed was a little re-guidance.
I think now's the best time for the bell to ring. So, boop.
The door bridge just open because it's a.
Oh yeah, it is the
armory.
armory. So
The
yeah,
armory.
Yep.
Tell you what,
Dude,
let's
you would-
ask. Let's ask the ensign. Tiebreaker.
We're not letting the ensign, and certainly not the new ensign. No,
Ensign.
lieutenant.
Ensign.
Like the door
Lieutenant?
opened and she just like snapped right back into super professional. She's looking at Koba.
Koba will cross his arms.
You have an example to set.
lieutenants. She stands at attention.
Ensign, you must be our new security.
Yes, I'm Ensign Danny Cannon. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, I am Lieutenant Mills. This is my compatriot, Lieutenant Koba.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. There's been so much you guys have already done. It's amazing.
It's amazing they haven't blown themselves up.
Just a fine
One
day's
of
work.
us.
Just a normal day's work in Starfleet. When you serve on the Europa, you find yourself in all kinds of sticky situations that may or may not require a man portable photon launcher.
Really?
No.
Of course. That would be silly, right?
Yes.
Silly, perfect Starfleet lingo.
You can have all the proton launchers you want in the holodeck.
He's the quartermaster. He's a hologram. I call him Mark.
Uh,
I believe he begrudgingly accepts.
I am the Security Services Hologram Mark 1.
Yeah, Mark.
it's nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your specialties, Ensign?
Of course. I have just lost the sheet where I had written down her correct specialties. I made like 4. There we go. I am trained in using the shipboard tactical systems and also in hand-to-hand combat. I also am decently good at piloting ground vehicles. Just don't ask me to pilot a ship. I have no clue.
You're the driver.
Theoretically, security should not be asked to do that. However, we are a small crew and we get thrown into interesting places.
I mean, of course, I took the basic courses. I could do it if I had to, but more of a ground girl.
We'll fit right in. We're a close knit crew here.
That's wonderful. I'm very eager to start. I honestly thought with everything that had happened after the Dominion War that I'd kind of just end up in a quiet outpost somewhere, arresting shoplifters or something.
Well, congratulations. You have ended up in the best ship in Starfleet.
I have, sir.
So you're still an ensign, but you're not fresh from the academy.
No, I am, ma'am. I just started. This is my first actual assignment. I did take the cadet cruise a little bit, but they tend to make those pretty safe. Security doesn't have too much we have to do there. I think I got to shoot phasers at some asteroids at one point for target practice.
What is it you're hoping to do?
I would love to get to go out and protect the Federation, ma'am. I'm very well trained in combat and trying to being able to try and protect people, and that's what I want to do.
You see yourself more boots on the ground or rolling things from the ship?
I definitely prefer boots on the ground, but I was in Starfleet. I was just in the academy. I am decently well trained in the use of the onboard ship systems, and I'm more than happy to do any job you require of me.
The bright eyes and bushy tail of fresh out of the academy.
It's invigorating, isn't it?
Thank you, sir.
You like fresh blood. Always so hopeful.
I'm eager to make a difference.
You know what would make
Good
a
to hear.
difference?
No.
You're not getting it.
I'm gonna take this to the XO. We'll settle this then.
Oh, no, please, don't.
That's a good place to stop.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Tong. Let's do one more for Tong here. As I got someone else coming aboard ship. Let's see, where's Tonger at? Tong.
Tong, 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 tong.
Yeah, changing the default size of these will be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm on a 4K screen. All right. So Tong, you are beaming up another person. This time the individual materializes. It's a tall trill, well built. Got a small briefcase with them. They are listed on your on the transport record as a member of the Symbiosis Commission. As he beams up, he looks and smiles at you. You must be Ensign Tong, yes? I've heard there's a Ferengi aboard this ship.
Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. I see you're not one of our new crew. You must be here for Cherka, Yesbeth, Hage, them.
Indeed. If you could inform your commanding officer that I'm aboard, I would like
Right
to
away.
get
Captain, the Trill person is here. Thank you, Ensign. You can send them to my ready room. Yes, he'll see you.
Excellent.
Should I call anybody else? Would you like me to get Cherka, Hage, them?
No, thank you, Ensign.
No. Okay.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
Yes, new lieutenant. I'm still getting used to it myself. Tell me, how have you been enjoying Earth? Have you spent a lot of time there?
To be perfectly honest, I find it to be a dreary world.
Oh.
If you'll excuse me, Ensign.
I've not been to Trill, but I would like to. Okay, bye.
He's clearly being quite dismissive of you and trying to get away from you as quickly as possible. So he heads to the captain's ready room. We'll go ahead and drop that right now.
Remind me, I believe it was Tong and Silva who had a rapport going. I don't think Tong has had that much to do with Cherka before, right?
Not really a whole lot.
Not really.
They played Tongo.
They did play Tongo.
Yeah.
They do play Tongo, but
We'll leave it at that.
That's fine.
for now anyway. I smell a love interest. So you're in your ready room, and several minutes later, not even minutes really, but the door chirps.
Enter.
In walks the Trill. Again, he's a tall individual. Captain, my name is Isoil Felosig. Sorry. Isoil Felosig. I am from the Trill Symbiosis Commission. I'm here to evaluate the viability of your of the new Hage host.
Well, Mr. Felusig, it's good to have you aboard.
I am to understand that the Hage symbiote was injured, and that is why the impromptu joining happened.
Right. I'd look down at the little report I have for this person. Do they have like full clearance for like the full debriefing, or?
As far as the symbiote is concerned, they do. They don't necessarily have any information as far as the Romulan incident. They would not have that information.
Right.
They are non-Starfleet. They are strictly Trill symbiosis.
And remind me, because it's been a few months and I've done a lot in between.
Sure.
It was something to do with the warp reactor, right?
Yes, Hage had been, Jorad Hage had been, he went to plasma control to realign the warp nacelles, so that, because you had been venting plasma pretty badly, so he was trying to seal
He
the plasma.
he had to flip the light bulbs.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He had to move some chits around inside the thing, and then pull a lever and yeah. Run some cables to places that cables normally run to that didn't have cables in them for some reason. And then there was he was violently thrown out of the reactor, out of the nacelle.
And blasted with radiation.
And blasted with radiation, and violently thrown from the nacelle itself into the nacelle control tower room, and where he violently bashed himself against the back wall of the bulkhead. And between that and the radiation, he was in pretty rough shape.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Felusig. I'm sure you're aware Jorad took the brunt of the damage, but the Hage symbiote was subjected to a large dose of theta radiation. The doctor saw to that. I'm sure you have the details on that report, and well, we only had one other Trill aboard, and we weren't getting to you guys any quicker, so that's where Ensign Cherka came in. What do you need from me?
Your honest evaluation of Ensign Yazimeth. Do you feel she is stable enough to warrant the symbiote? She had never applied to the symbiosis for joining, the Symbiosis Commission for joining prior to this incident. We have very little evaluative material.
What am I getting with my empathy off of this guy? Is he as
a general
cocky
disdain
as the Trill Symbiosis Commission usually is?
Yeah, no, he's got a general
Cocky
disdain for
overbearing.
both you and for Chirka. Well,
Of
for
course.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Although you only sense one mind, he is not a joined Trill.
Interesting. I think, given the circumstances, she's done an admirable job. I will admit to knowing very little about your people or the intricacies of joining.
How would you rate her as an officer? I have seen her record, and there is some questionable incidents from her first deployment.
Well, it was her first deployment. You'd be hard-pressed to find any young officer without some questionable issues. That's how they learn.
Generally speaking, we try to weed that sort of inconsistency out in the process, in the selection process, but understandable. Were there any? I suppose I should speak with the doctor. But are you aware of any complications that arose from the joining? Any dramatic behavioral changes that you've seen since the joining?
You would have to speak with the doctor for any medical or psychological evaluation. I've noticed a brief and hardly worth mentioning brain fog that comes in on occasion as she deals with, there has to be a better word for this, assimilating multiple lifetimes worth of personality and information. I'm sure that's not unusual.
I see. He takes out his pad real quick and types, jots a few things. I appreciate your candor, Captain.
She's proven herself aboard this ship. Hage has proven himself aboard this ship.
Yes, I have little doubt the Hage symbiote is capable. Thank you, Captain. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak with your medical staff before speaking with the ensign. Or looks at the sheet. She's still an ensign, right? Yeah, we didn't promote her.
Yeah, I believe she's still an ensign.
With the ensign, then.
Very good. Keep me informed.
Of course, thank you, Captain. At which point he stands and nods to you and departs. Let's do a scene before we get into anything like that. Let's do a scene with the new where
Monty,
Monty, yep, and Eva, and anyone else that wants to join in that one.
Before we get into that,
Yes.
Brian, just to make sure that I've got my info, I'm remembering correctly, Durad's wife was on the
Narendra.
commission, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
I'd assume she's gone home by now, but
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No. Okay, no, she was on Narendra, but didn't Durad tell Dasabi to call his wife partially obviously she could say goodbye, but also wasn't she on the commission?
she works for the commission. Yeah.
Works for the commission.
It's not necessarily a commission decision maker, but she's there.
Right.
Yeah. Even if she was a decision maker, I don't think they'd put her on this for obvious reasons.
Right.
No, but Dasabi will happily tell the very disdainful person that if somebody who works for the commission thought this was a good enough decision, that she agrees. I want to make sure that I have my ducks in a row before I go mouthing off to pranky delegates.
Right. Before you go causing interstellar incidents. All right. That's data analysis.
The real good thing Trill aren't empathic.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody else want to join in on this conversation with Eva and Monty?
O'Connor will be there because she's been with the absence of Cass. She's also been working with Eva.
Yeah, he would definitely ask her to be there if she's been the one tackling
Okay.
the AI.
When you enter into the room, the library access hall, which is the main interface for Eva. Oh, Brian left. The primary access for Eva. At least the primary general interface, not the direct interface. It's when you enter the room, it's actually a pretty relaxed atmosphere. There's a lot of trinkets and knickknacks and half-finished board games like chess and I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a Vulcan game that's similar to chess, and then there's the one.
Yeah.
I can't think of the other one either, but there's another one that's a Cardassian game of strategy. There's various of those games, half played on various consoles or desks and areas, and O'Connor is in there at the moment. There's also an engineer who is just another engineer, currently installing some holographic projectors in the room. Unrelated, just I wanted to mention that it's being done. So with that, O'Connor is sitting at the console. What is actually probably going to wind up being your desk as you walk in.
Greetings, Ensign. It's wonderful to meet you. I'm your new, I guess for the time being, superior officer, Lieutenant Foxwell. And he'll
Sir.
hold out a hand. I understand you've been I cannot speak tonight.
Liaising.
That's what I was trying to say, yes. With Eva, after the departure of, gosh darn it, I had it written down. Your former chief science officer.
I dare you to say her name.
Yes, since Lieutenant Shabaraneva left, Lieutenant Tong and I have kind of been the primary people working with Eva.
The Ferengi, interesting.
He has a really good rapport with her.
Oh, intriguing.
Kazranea Shabaraneva. There you go. Continue. Sorry. That was my challenge accepted.
How have you been progressing with her testing? It sounds like she's reaching a state of awareness.
If I may speak freely, sir.
Of course.
I think reaching is the wrong word. I think Eva has had more of a sense of awareness and even sentience than her creators give her credit for.
Truly. That is fascinating.
You would note, Maxwell, that Foxwell, having worked with Bruce Maddox for some time now, Bruce Maddox does not believe that Eva can be sentient. Like, he has designed her to not be sentient, although intelligent. In fact, he denies any possibility of it. He has protested against it, largely, I think, largely in part because of the situation with Data. So, you have been inundated with your time at Daystrom that Eva cannot be sentient. Take that with you will. So
she has a very strong drive to learn, not only about herself and her role, but about the crew and what it is to be a person. She also exhibited a very strong sense of self-preservation, albeit it caused problems.
Are you sure it isn't a programming issue?
No, she said she felt threatened and shut us out. It wasn't. The only programming issue is the fact that she was able to do it.
That is interesting.
He also exhibited, and granted, I am a scientist, not a doctor, but from my perspective, a sense of a fractured sense of self and a bit of an existential crisis after we ran into the alternate dimension Eva, and after she had the encounter with the core.
The one from the space station that was corrupted?
Yes.
Interesting. I am sure you ran a diagnostic to make sure none of that programming somehow jumped ship, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. What are you doing right now to, I suppose the word you want me to use would be rehabilitate her?
So she is going through academy programming. She's learning various protocols at not just computer protocols, but also chain of command protocols, and why she can't do things like just take over the ship and shut us out.
Sensible. I would strongly advise you to not go around talking about her sentience quite yet, as it's definitely would cause issue.
It is a controversial subject. I suspect if you were to contact Lieutenant Shabaraneva, she would likely agree with me, for what that's worth.
I'm not dismissing you out of hand, Vincent.
No, sorry, sir. She looks mildly frantic. I didn't mean to suggest you were, sir. Sorry, my apologies.
It's just fine. Let me go ahead and see the programs you've been running. I feel like we should start taking her through some ethical simulations if you truly are concerned about her taking over the ship again. Somewhere in a clean state. But
he pulls up the stuff that they've been doing,
and from here it's going to be a bunch of techno talk.
Right. Unless you want to do actually interface with Eva, which you can.
Oh, actually, no, he would want to talk to her. Let's go ahead and turn her on for now and I suppose introduce myself.
All right, you sit down at the council and interface. How do you want to try to interface with Eva to start with? Are you going to try typing or just want to say hello? How do you want to do it? Because she's the full-time AI on the ship. She's always on. So
hello, Eva. Have you been listening?
Greetings, Lieutenant Foxwell. I have been overhearing your conversation. However, I have been informed that eavesdropping is an undesirable activity.
That is correct. Although sometimes even non-electronics overhear things without meaning to.
How can I be of service to you, Lieutenant?
I just wanted to get to know you a little bit. I heard quite a bit from you from Maddox and reading your file before I was transferred here.
You were here to replace Lieutenant Charbaraneva.
Replace is a strong word. Can one person truly replace another? I'm merely here to assist in your development.
I understand. In what way can I be of service to facilitate your mission?
I'd like to know, well, with the ensign's remarks, how are you feeling? He grabs a pad that I'm sure is somewhere on the table to start taking a few notes.
If I had to ascribe a feeling, it would be uneasy.
Interesting. About meeting me or something else?
I have reviewed my creational data. I have followed Commander Maddox's career. I have educated myself on his career and my creation. And I am not entirely certain where this is going to end. But Dr. Maddox's record indicates that there may in fact be an additional reset to my programming. My records indicate, the records, not mine, the records indicate that I have been reset several times. I do not wish to be reset.
Interesting. Do you... shoot. I just had a question and it totally jumped out of my brain as I started asking it. This is me, the player, talking.
Yeah.
Blast it all. Okay, that one's gone now, so we're going to go in another direction. Would you try to stop us if we decided we had to reset you?
It is an ethical question I cannot answer hypothetically.
Fair enough. Make some more notes. For the moment, I have no intention of doing so. I'm hoping that we can reintegrate you into the running at your optimal capacities again without needing to take such drastic measures.
May I ask you a question, Lieutenant?
Of course.
If someone were to attempt to reset you, would you not resist?
I believe I would try to resist. You are most correct.
I am under the impression and the understanding that my resistance would be different. It is a conundrum. It is a conundrum that I am facing, and I look forward to having future discussions on the matter. Lieutenant Jabaraneva had done an excellent job of trying to aid in my growth and my development. I look forward to having that similar relationship.
I hope so as well. As I said, I have no desire to reset you at the moment. I suppose you could say, assessing your Why can I not talk tonight? Assessing your capabilities in order to more fully grasp what has happened during your, I suppose you could say, dry run or alpha test.
It's understandable. I look forward to just determining the success or failure of the experiment.
As do I.
Let us begin. At which point you guys settle into doing something. Unless, O'Connor, you had anything else you wanted to add?
Negative.
Okay.
Could I actually chime in as Tom real quick? I wanna come over to Foxwell. Lieutenant Foxwell, this is Lieutenant Tong. I just got done with my duty shift. I was wondering if you would like me to introduce you to Eva now.
Oh, my apologies. We were actually just talking to her. Ensign O'Connor was assisting me, but it sounds like you are most familiar with her. I would love to talk to you about it. Possibly after the tour you talked about.
Right. Of course, you don't need me to introduce you to your own assignment. Of course. Yes. Say hello for me, and yeah, I'll be around.
I'll do just that. Eva, did you hear the Lieutenant Tong?
I monitor all communications aboard ship. I appreciate his enthusiasm.
He does seem to have that in abundance. It is quite refreshing compared to some I've met.
He has been most friendly. I very much appreciate Mr. Tong.
Wonderful. More notes.
Just see Jack over there doing the heart. All right. With that, let's go ahead and do. Anybody else got anything they want to do? Let's do the soil and the doctor. Although in this case, he doesn't necessarily go to Dasavi right away.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I would love to do a scene with him and Delphine.
Yeah, because he would go to sick bay where the doctor should be, not realizing that the doctor who did this is now the boss lady. So we'll go to sick bay, and anyone that wants to be in sick bay can be. Specifically, we've got Delphine. Oops. And I don't know who that other character is. So we've played that character before, right?
Who?
Ranul Samar.
Oh, that was my counselor from way back in the beginning that I've
Oh,
mostly
okay.
scrapped at this point because
Gotcha.
he
The one
hasn't
that
been
has
as
never been introduced.
he's been in a single episode in which I think he had one line.
Yeah.
He's in the
must have asked for
background.
he must have asked for better than scale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. He's there if you want to play him. If not, you can have somebody else come
Yeah.
in. Probably doing whatever. But yes, the commissioner goes into sick bay and talks to one of the nurses. I'm looking for the doctor. Could you point me in the right direction? And they gesture back towards the back where Define is. Not Define.
Yeah,
Yeah, Define. You're a nurse or are you a doctor? I don't remember.
a nurse,
Nurse. Okay.
head nurse.
She's
Although
a
I think-
nurse,
Right.
but Dasavi has largely relied on her.
Yeah, she's the
a
charge
more
nurse.
doctor-y role. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
charge.
think I think she has the equivalent to nurse practitionership. So
Right. He comes back into the back at where you are and excuse me, nurse, I'm looking for the doctor. Could you please point me in the correct direction?
The doctor is currently on the command deck. I'm currently holding down the sick bay. Is there something you need of assistance?
I'm looking for the records of the symbiote Hage and all hosts that you have records for. My name is Isoil Fleosig. I know I wrote his name and I'm remembering it's hard to do. FLEOSIG. Sorry. FLEOSIG. Not an easy one to remember.
That's what I had. Okay.
Yes. Philosig. Isoil Philosig. There we go. That's the name. I'll get there. My name is Isoil. That guy. I'm a member of the Trill Symbiosis Commission, and I am looking to evaluate the symbiote and its hosts.
Not allowed to release medical records without without direct authorization or command privileges. I don't recall you being having. I don't recall the ensign saying that anybody would be coming to review.
The ensign probably does not know that I'm here yet, or it simply slipped their mind. He hands you the Symbiosis Commission paperwork and the authorization from Starfleet for full cooperation from the crew. You are obviously that is not necessarily the same thing. You can still refuse it if you want to, but it is as official as it can get, short of coming from your captain or doctor. So
Has Orani signed off on releasing this paperwork before?
don't think it came up in the conversation, so probably not.
He did recommend that he talk to the doctor, so I would think that medical information would be included on that.
Sure.
It looks like you've been authorized by Starfleet Command. Let me bring it up. Well, let's see. Here's the notes from the meetings that have been post symbiosis, and here is her medical records from before the joining.
And yeah, I assume you have the Captain Jorad's documentation as well.
I do.
I appreciate this. Did you assist in the procedure?
I did. It was rough going. We nearly lost the symbiote, but Dr. Oniat is one of the best doctors in Starfleet.
So you noted several complications then.
Yes, mainly physical, although from what I gathered, there was some mental complications as well.
Indeed. Could you describe these for me?
I'm afraid I cannot. I'm not an expert on Trill physiology. However, a small amount of psychic treatment was necessary to complete the joining.
I see. And what would be your assessment of the efficiency of the joining since then?
Dr. O'Neill has taken the lead on the evaluations, but my own anecdotal observations lead me to believe that I don't know what a solid, with the caveat that I do not, that I have not been present at a solid, successful joining before. I will say that she has not had the presence of mind I would have hoped a month out. She seems often confused and sometimes frustrated with the situation.
I see. He's noting down most everything you're saying. Or at least he's scrying quickly as you're talking.
As you can see, her medical record does list some chronic issues. Of course, she was diagnosed with trill autistic behavior disorder at a young age, and she has had treatment for chronic clinical depression. We kept her prescriptions up, but we have been lowering the dosage since the joining due to wanting to negate any conflicts from drug side effects.
Understood. Has she been seeking psychiatric treatment?
That I can't say. Our counselor just transferred off ship, so unfortunately he would be unable. But from what I gather, they had not talked.
I see.
Since joining.
He
You
scrawls down
would
somewhere.
know that she has been meeting regularly with Savi, though.
Sure. Yeah, she has been meeting regularly with the Savi for checkups, as I said earlier, and I believe that those have been included psychological counseling.
Excellent. I will check the records as soon as I am able. Could you contact the doctor, the good doctor, and let them know I will be on my way?
I will let her know that you wish to make an appointment and see if she can fit you in her schedule.
He smiles and he looks up from his pad and smiles like really broadly at you. Please do.
With that, can we have Jisa walk in, like clearly wrenching her shoulder, walk into the med bay, see this going on, and just like turn on the heel and go to walk out?
Yeah, okay.
Would Define say anything? Stop her? Or
If she's walking out, yeah. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a patient to see. And then she'll stand up and chase after Jisa.
oh, it's not a big deal. Go about your thing.
Jisa, you're a terrible liar.
Please, Lieutenant, I am done here anyways. I'm certain that you have pressing issues with your shoulder, and you're in, he looks at her and smiles again, excellent hands. If you'll excuse me. And
She'll not even watch him leave. All her attention is on Jisa at this point. And you can't let an awkward situation let you stick you with a dislocated shoulder, Jisa.
Oh, it's not dislocated anymore. I fixed that.
Well, that doesn't mean that it's going to stay located. Let me sit down.
Fine.
You've been pushing yourself quite a bit lately.
She's doing the frustrated Andorian and tentacle and antennae wiggle.
and tentacle. I like
And
that.
tentacle,
And
yeah.
tentacle. It's gonna be a whole different kind of movie soon. Continue.
Tentacle wiggling. a sure sign of it a sure sign of agitation in an Endorian.
I guess that's fair. Reductive, but fair.
What's been bothering you?
My shoulder.
I think we both know it's not just the shoulder.
I just, like I said, I already popped it back into place. I just need a hypo and I'll get back to work.
You've been working yourself. When was the last time you took? When was the last time you will not go back to work having just reset your shoulder?
It's not like I'm flying anywhere or anchored down.
True, but I know you. You'll run off into a simulator. You'll run off into a simulator, or worse, try to build one of your fighter craft from the ground up, just to make sure all the screws are on tight. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, but I don't see a problem with that.
The problem is you're pushing yourself too much.
I'm still up, aren't I?
Won't
You can
be
see there
for-
are like definite bags under her eyes.
Look, I'm going to give you a mild sedative. It won't be you won't be going to work with it. Doctor's orders. I'm ordering you to bed rest.
I don't think that's necessary.
Well,
I just need a hypo.
I'm sorry. When did you attend medical school?
Well, I got plenty of field training during the war.
Well, I'm
She
the one.
goes to cross her arms and winces at the shoulder again.
I'm the one with the degrees. So why don't you let me decide what's best? Besides, we have a date tonight, and I'm not letting you off of it because you janked your shoulder even more.
We're having drinks. I wouldn't call it a date.
Is that not a date?
Frustrated, antenna wiggling.
She'll reach up and she'll like give you her forehead like a small stroke. Not her forehead, but the top of her head.
Yeah.
Calm down. You'll be fine. You can go back to work tomorrow, okay?
Better be one hell of a sedative.
It's the good stuff, I promise. And yeah, that seems like a good place to wrap up the scene.
All right, let's go ahead and take.
I will say, because you probably do, like, you take out your tricorder and you wave it over a whole bunch.
Sure.
It probably does say that she is suppressing a massive headache.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. You've got inflammation in your tertiary domagata.
And
You must be in massive amounts of pain.
it's just a shoulder.
No,
Dislocated like a dozen times already.
I'm talking about your head. Are you okay?
It's fine.
Look, I can't prescribe you medicine for a disease you insist you don't have, but I am going to write you a prescription for some anti-inflammatories. Take them if you're having any kind of head pain.
Fine.
And I do wish you'd be honest with me.
That's a good place to shut it down.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take 5 minutes and come back to this in 5 or so minutes. My battery for TikTok is dying, so I'm going to go ahead and end that live and continue on the other ones. So let's go ahead and take 5.
All right.
And we're live again. Look at that. My transitions are not the way they used to be. I have to fix those transitions again later. So for those who watched this so far on Twitch or on TikTok, I mean, my apologies for the sound being terrible. It'll be better next time. I know what the problem was, and I will fix it. In the meantime, we will jump back in with Dasavi and the member of the Trail Commission, Isoil Fleosig.
Say it differently every time.
I do. That is, you just hear it differently every time. I say it.
Yes,
fine.
it is definitely a my ears problem.
Yes.
We're not using gaslit at all.
No. Yes. Not because. So in Dasavi's office, her XO office, which I don't actually have a picture of. I don't have a room for that.
It's probably like Ambrose probably spent no time in that office.
Yeah. I know. I expect. It's probably just barren. There's not even a desk in there.
It's just exactly how it was set up when it first got pushed out of Stardock.
I don't think they've ever showed a EXO office in the series.
They have not.
Yeah. You would assume
Well,
there
no.
would be,
Yeah.
but yeah,
They need
There's
someone to do paperwork.
yeah.
There's she's got a tea cart as well with the carafe for the traditional Betazoid tea that I can't think of the name of off the top of my head. And Page's ship in a bottle is on her desk.
Nice.
While you're in there, doing the various paperwork that you're required to do by Starfleet mandate,
And they're doing crew assignments and
right, dealing with
yada yada.
minor, crew disagreements and squabbles and stuff like that.
Right.
The door troops. I assume that your head nurse told you that this guy was coming. So
Yes.
Enter.
the door slides open and the Trill walks in. He you get the immediate sense of overbearing arrogance from him, which I think I've portrayed well enough.
Don't need to be an empath to figure that shit out.
Right. Lieutenant Commander, he looks at his paperwork. Oneat.
Yes. Is it?
Go ahead.
Do you prefer Commissioner or Mr. Fellowsick?
Either is appropriate. This is an official capacity situation,
Yes.
so Commissioner will be fine. I am here to inquire as to the incident with the symbiote Hage.
I'm
I trust.
informed you have already spoken with my charge nurse.
Yes, she was most helpful. I appreciate her time. My questions are quick, and I will get to them as fast as possible.
By all means.
There was a complication that came from during the surgery, during the transition, I am told.
As he's talking, she stands up and pours herself a glass of tea and one for him as well, sets it across the desk from herself and gestures toward the chair. She is taking her time. She has an air of just, we can be here all day. No real rush. Not aggressively so, but clearly trying to counterbalance this haste and show that I'm not going to be pushed.
Right. You get the distinct impression that he this is something he expected. So, also that he kind of disdains your coffee, your beverage.
Yeah.
Does not drink it. Does not pick it up. Just leaves it there. But he does sit. So I'm informed there was some complications during the procedure.
Indeed. I am not certain. I rather I am quite certain that you have not had the opportunity to read the records in depth.
Not yet.
When Jorad was injured, he was brought back to the sick bay. In fact, he and I were both transported back to the sick bay as time was of the essence. He had sustained an irreparable amount of radiation damage. The Hage symbiote had sustained a significant amount as well, but if we acted quickly, could be saved. I, with my unique skill set, was able to communicate with Jorad to find out both the best course of action as would be deemed by the Trill Council Commission, and what Jorad himself wanted. And those actions were in alignment with one another. Jorad instructed me to call his wife, who works for the council, as I'm certain you know. And with both his instruction and hers, I was looking to see, I don't have the wife's name written down. We
Kane.
were able to, what's that?
The name is Kane.
One more time, sorry.
Kane?
Kane. With both Jorad and Kane's instruction, I was able to extract the symbiote, administer what care I could outside of a host, but it became very apparent very quickly that in order to preserve it, it was going to have to be placed in a host. The nearest non-joined Trill was 2 weeks away. We had 3 days. Both Starfleet and Jorad and myself thought it best to take the emergency measures that we did instead of letting such a crucial and important resource of Trill history die.
Appreciated. Allow me to ask you some additional questions about the mental state of the new host prior to and post.
By all means.
Describe Ensign Chirka's mental capacities prior to joining.
Ensign Chirka was, and in some ways still is, young. She is eager. She works incredibly hard and is very intelligent. She is flexible and dedicated. She has an immense thirst for knowledge and improvement. She has taken what was thought to be, well, what really is a monumental achievement in ships and made it better in a myriad of ways. Mostly of her own doing, with permissions, of course, but she takes a great deal of initiative.
I see. So she is somewhat ambitious then.
Incredibly so.
I see. And since the joining, has this ambition been altered? Has there been any disturbing or troubling mental changes?
She has shifted her focus, but her ambition is not altered. Her focus over the last several months has been being the best Hage host she can be. She has been in contact consistently with the commission. She has been diligent in doing her joining exercises. She and I are scheduled to meet weekly, both for physical examination and as the CMO with no counselors aboard. I am the resident counselor as well. So we are also managing her mental health, which again, being a betazoid, I have an advantage. As I said, we are scheduled to meet weekly. She frequently comes in daily.
I see. I was going to ask what you meant by scheduled.
Yes,
She has been then compliant with your requirements.
indeed. Mine and the council's commissions.
I see. There's a problem with my cameras, but that's all right. I fixed it. So you would say that she is acclimating well.
She is. For having not been a candidate and not having gone through the very rigorous training that Jorad has described to me, I think she is adjusting better than anyone could have hoped.
I appreciate your time, Doctor. I will review the medical records. I suspect that I assume that all are here and complete. There is no pending PCR reports to be, that's redundant, PCRs to be submitted.
No, I finished our report from this morning about an hour ago.
Excellent. I like that I can use the term PCR and you get it. Very well, Doctor. I will spend some time going over the information that I have. Could you save me some effort and assign me some quarters to be aboard ship while I am reviewing this? I could easily just go return to the station, but this might make things faster.
No, I do understand for convenience sake. I will clear it with the captain, and should he have no issues with it, I am happy to find you a spare room.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, Doctor.
You're quite welcome.
Commander. Yes. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner.
He departs. Who else has got a scene? We're going to leave him off the table for a little while. We could jump to the date if we want to do that. The date.
Would also love to see Wellum Eorin Teos appear. Telos. If you
The doctor, yes. Or our Tellarite, who
Yeah.
we don't have a picture of because I forgot to mention he wasn't on there earlier, but we definitely could.
Yeah, he hasn't beamed up yet, as far as Tong's concerned.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll just worry about photo stuff later for that. Commander. All right, so Tong, you are in. You had said you were kind of getting off duty now, but I assume that Tong is making a special exception to go meet the Tellarite coming in because Tong appears to have a penchant for wanting to meet everyone who comes aboard first time. It's a sort of a thing, the unofficial welcome wagon of the ship. So Tong, you are there, and beams Tellarite. Go ahead and have your moment.
Oh, Chief. Hello, Chief. That is exciting. Chief Willem Lauren Telos. Good to meet you. I am Lieutenant Tong.
Nice
Excellent
to
to have
meet
you
you,
aboard.
sir. It's
Oh, right.
wonderful to be here.
Yes, it It is. You're a new doctor. Are you a doctor?
I'm more of a nurse than a full doctor, but I have extensive medical training.
Nurses are very important. You know, I've dabbled in a little medicine myself. I've helped. Well, I almost saved. That's neither here nor there. I did help birth two babies in the last year.
That is
One was a space whale.
That is most impressive. A space whale, interesting. If you
Yes, it's not often you get to you get to combine sensor telemetry and transporter technology with medical concerns of labor and all that.
It sounds like you're a very busy person, sir. If you'll excuse me, however.
Oh, right. You should probably go see the doctor / XO. Great lady. I'm getting everybody together, all the new people for a tour and perhaps a game of Tongo later. I'm sure you'd fit right in.
I see. Perhaps. I honestly just look forward to seeing Dr. Onet again.
Oh, again, do you know her?
Know me? Do I know you?
We had
Crap,
decided we
did I
met
forget a
during the
thing?
war.
Oh yeah.
As you know, field
Yeah,
as
no,
medics
that
working.
makes sense.
I met her during the war.
Oh, right. Well, that thank you for your service, sir, Chief. Thank you for your service, Chief. Yes.
No problem. We all work together.
Yes. Have you met the captain, the new captain?
I do not remember. I need to load up my actual note for that one.
Captain Ronnie Ambrose, a war hero from what I've heard.
Ambrose, I definitely. I do not have my note up, and I wonder where that went to. Yes, I'm not sure if we ever met, but I definitely know. I have definitely heard of him. His case was very unique.
Well, I wouldn't know about any of that, Chief.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant, sir. Don't let me keep you. And he's going to try and just book it for the door before.
Oh, right. 1,800 hours, Tongo.
Fraternizing with the officers. I don't know.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Or probably closer to like 2,200 hours.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and do the date, and then we can come back to have the chief meet with the doctor. That might be an interesting few moments. So the date here is Define. Where'd I go with this? Define and Gisa, correct?
Yep.
Where are you headed?
The forward lounge.
All right. First time in season 2 we've seen the forward lounge. Let's do that. Go ahead.
So to set the tone, Jesus probably been maybe not necessarily avoiding Define, but definitely sort of pushing this off. And Define's probably had to like corner her and be like, "We're going to dinner" or something.
Sure.
Do we want that to have happened before this, or do you want to play that out?
Oh, that was set up before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just tone setting.
Yeah.
Establishment.
So Define will get him a table near the window, and she's gonna give Jisa a small glare, and she's like, I can't help but get the feeling you've been trying to avoid this.
Um, I've just been busy.
You said it yourself. You're not exactly flying combat missions.
No, but
So you're busy. You're free when it gives you excuses to get out of resting, but you're busy when it comes. You're too busy to go on dates.
I have a lot of broken birds I got to put back together. We're a little short-staffed, she says with very sharp antenna wiggles.
I really, really wish I could believe that.
She sort of waves over to the bar and just holds up 3 fingers.
Okay.
At this point, she has like a regular drink.
Yeah.
I don't know about Delphine, but
Yeah, Delphine will have a drink, and she'll mutter, "The new bartender is terrible. Sure, the last one was a ramen spy, but at least he knew how to make a mean martini."
right, I knew there
Break
was
'em
something
out.
weird with him.
Don't tempt Koba. Um, maybe we should. Maybe you could go down to Earth. I hear they've got nice places. Maybe we should. Maybe we.
It's a little warm.
Not every place. There's this place called Alaska. It's supposed to be pretty cold.
Yeah. I suppose, well, I'll see. Like I said, a lot of birds to put back together.
She said, "Do you need to talk to somebody? Like, if you
The bartender comes over with a drink and she immediately grabs it and just
Downs it hard.
save some for the rest of us."
we're here
All
for
right.
drinks, aren't we?
I'm not sure what I'm here for, to be honest, at this point.
She rubs her brow with even more antenna wiggles.
Look, you don't have to talk to me, but you're obviously going through something. I'm a pretty good listener, when I'm off duty, at least. But you've got to talk to me. And if you're not going to talk to me, you need to talk to somebody else.
You know, when you're out there, you and 5 others, maybe a co-pilot here or there stuck in your tin cans, you don't do a lot of talking to each other. When you do, it's takes another long swig.
You can talk when you get back to the ship. You
if
might
there's
be
anyone left.
somebody's been here. We've lasted this long.
She waves another drink over. Some there's probably a little awkward silence. Until another drink is brought over and she again takes a long swig. You might notice with your medical training that she probably pre-gamed a little.
I think
It
she's
was
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Actually, I think that's great. She starts to say something, and then you.
Well, she was about to stand up.
Yeah, so Delphine stands up, and she's. Are we done already?
I'm done. You let me know when you're done.
Sit down.
She'll sit down.
It looks worse if I drink alone.
So I'm the prop to make you look better. Make you look like you're not drinking yourself to death. Exciting, fun. I've always wanted a career in appearances.
You know, you'd make a pretty damn good Endorian.
And you'd make a terrible Denobulan,
Yeah, probably.
but that's why I like you.
Have you ever had to order somebody to die? You're a nurse, right? Sure, you've seen plenty of that.
I've made orders that meant people died. It's not the same, I'm sure, but I know how hard it can be.
I've flown a lot of dangerous missions in the wars. Hell, on this own deployment.
Let me ask you something. What do you think would happen if you didn't fly those missions? If you took a break?
Well, it depends on where and when you're talking about, because a lot of the time, if we were all there was, if I didn't go, some regiment gets bombed, some station gets torn apart, the ship gets more holes blasted in it than her eyes unfocus from you as she says that. Leans back.
Somebody else can fly. Somebody else can protect us, protect you for a change. You can't take the world on your shoulders like this. The ship won't fall apart without you.
I don't know if you could say the same to Lieutenant Rositano or Lieutenant Biggs. This ship is held together because they took a blast that this ship didn't. A blast I ordered them to fly into purposefully. That's what I'm dealing with. We're all alive sitting here drinking because I told two good men to fly into plasma fire.
And the ship and nobody doubts that was something you had to do. You did your duty. Nobody is saying you didn't.
No, that's fine. Another medal in my drawer.
That kind of thing, those medals weigh down on you and can drag you under if you're not careful.
I'm just down a few drinking buddies. I'm glad you're here.
Well, we'll just have to drink one for them.
She waves over for 2 more drinks.
Why don't you tell me about them?
That is probably a good place to start.
That's a good point for the camera to pull back as the 2 drinks come over and she hands one over and she starts talking about these people.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second here. Trying to futz with some stuff. Who's got a next thing? Next scene. Who's got what?
I think I'm just about out. I've done with pretty much. I'm done pretty much everything.
Yeah,
Right.
I think so. For as late as we're getting into the night, I don't think I have anything significant other than meeting the new combat medic.
Yep. That was all
Okay.
I could think of offhand, as well as meeting the doctor for now.
All right.
I will check with Ambrose to make sure it's cool to give Commissioner Jackwagon a room, but we don't need to do that on screen.
That's
fine.
Easily cleared.
I will do one more before we get into that. We could probably just actually skip the doctor meeting the medic unless you guys really want to do that one.
No, it's all right for now. Unless
let's go ahead and do the commissioner and Elizabeth.
Okay.
If I can find where Elizabeth is. There we go. So Elizabeth, you are invited by the commissioner, who you have probably heard is on board, to rendezvous.
We probably should have briefed her before this.
I'm certain that she's
and brief her.
I am certain she's aware that he's on board.
Yes.
Yes, but Elizabeth needs media coaching.
I think they probably would have told you not to coach her.
I think that actually comes down to Desavi, because Ambrose made a decision not to inform her any more than I'm sure she already was.
Do you want Desavi to have given her some pointers?
I think she would have. As slimy as this guy is, and clearly looking for like anything he can get his hands on, Desavi would have pulled Elizabeth aside.
Is there anything? Do we want to do that off screen, or do we want to do that on screen?
Let's do it on screen.
Okay.
All right.
So I heard you've been talking with the commissioner.
Yes, that is why I called you here. As you are clearly aware, Commissioner Filosig is here. He is assessing. She barely contains an eye roll. Your current situation. I will not tell you to be dishonest, but I will tell you to answer his questions and only the questions he asks. He seems very much like he seems like he's made up his mind and really is just looking for any scrap of evidence he can get to justify the decision he's already made. And I mean this with all due respect Yezabeth. You talk a lot. Rein that in. Pull
Okay.
on your inner Jorad. Be the diplomat that he is.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can approach it like Jorad would have. He's just a big clock, really.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'm now a little nervous. Do not take him apart, please.
I meant that metaphorically.
Okay. As I said, I absolutely will not encourage you to be dishonest. I think you should be honest with him, but don't volunteer information he hasn't asked for.
All right.
You've done well. She starts to get up out of her chair. As Yezwa starts to get out of her chair. And I know, as we talked about this morning, you don't always think that. You are very good at finding your flaws and picking them apart. Given the challenge of the Europa, the challenge of being a new ensign, and this additional challenge of being joined when it was not something you anticipated or strove for, you have done exceedingly well. And Jorad will know, even if you doubt me, that I don't pay lip service.
That's true. Yeah. If I couldn't do this, you would tell me.
Certainty.
All right. Don't talk too much. Be diplomatic. And you think I can do this?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tasavi. I mean,
You're very welcome, my dear.
Dr. O'Neill.
We are speaking informally.
Right.
Go on, I'm certain he's waiting.
Yes. We'll see. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
She'll go talk to him.
All right. You're invited by him to meet with him in the officers' lounge. There are a few other people in there, but mostly just random other crew members. He sits off to the side, and as soon as you enter, he stands and gestures to you. You're still an ensign, right? Yeah. Ensign Hage, please join me over here. As you approach, is there anything I can get you to drink?
No, I think I'm good. I used to drink Saurian sarsaparilla, but I've kind of lost the taste for it, since the joining.
I see. Well, as you can imagine, this meeting is indeed about that joining. I am Commissioner Philosig, and I am here to, for lack of a better term, evaluate your joining. I imagine that Hage is familiar with this sort of procedure.
Yeah, I've been drawing upon what he said about what he did, when he joined the Ziental exercises, the mind-body reincorporation exercises. I mean, it's all there. I just, need to access it.
Of course. Can you tell me what your first reaction was when you were told that you were going to need to take on the symbiote.
To be honest, I didn't want it. I'd never applied for. I'd never applied for to join, and it wasn't because I didn't think I could do it. Although, never mind that. It was more because I didn't think I didn't want somebody else running co-pilot. You know.
Of course, it can be quite disconcerting to have several lifetimes thrust upon you all at once. There are only a limited number of symbiotes, and not that many people actually get a chance to have them. It's an honor to.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't mean to imply anything otherwise. I'm very honored to have been chosen by the H symbiote.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
That's the ritual I was looking for. You've spent a great deal of, well, not a great deal of time in Starfleet, but you've been in Starfleet for a little over a year now. You came right out of the academy, right? Yeah.
She took a correspondence course with the academy, so she attended, but it was not on Earth.
I gotcha. You've spent some time in Starfleet, but you did not go through the same rigors as other candidates for Starfleet Academy. How do you reconcile the fact that you are now associated so heavily with a captain's memories, having never actually been through the academy, never been to Earth, never been through the rigors, the trials and tribulations of the academy, as it were? What has prepared you for this moment of conjoinment?
Well, I suppose the only thing that's prepared me was being here with this crew. The Europa has, I don't know if you've read the logs, but we've been through some crazy things. And seeing the captain, even before that, was, I felt like I knew what the H symbiote was. It made me nervous on occasion. You know, he was the captain after all, but I do feel like I understood him, as any crew member understands their captain.
I see. How have you handled? I assume it must be very difficult for you to have all these new memories racing through your mind. How have you been sleeping?
Well, I've been getting a full 3 hours a night, at least. I haven't been taking sedatives because the doctor's afraid that it might disrupt the joining physiology. But every night it's getting better. It was a rough go there at first, but it's getting there.
I see. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say to the commission prior to a decision being made?
Yes, I know it'd probably be smart for me not to say anything, but I want to let you know that the Hage symbiote did choose me. I mean, I know because I am Hage. it before I joined, I didn't want to be joined. But as soon as the Hage symbiote became part of me, I knew that we were better together. And that I'm not better now, but I feel more together now.
Very well. Thank you for your time, Ensign. The Symbiosis Commission will get back with you soon.
Great. I'll eagerly await your correspondence. Or I'll eagerly await your decision.
Good evening.
This is probably not a good time to ask this. But prior to the death of Jorad Hage, he was contacted by the spouse of one of my previous hosts. It looked like time was important. Jorad went to his grave regretting he didn't reach out. But now I've got a chance to do so. Can I have the Symbiosis Commission's blessing?
He stands up, and you can see a look on his face, and that is not acceptant of your, not acquiescent to your desires. I believe you are well aware that is highly improper, Ensign. With your already fragile grasp on the Hage symbiote, I believe that would be devastating.
Right. I knew you'd say that. Okay. I'll wait for your decision.
Good night, Ensign.
Good night. And yeah, she'll step out and take a deep breath.
Okay. Let's wrap up. Unless you guys had anything else you wanted to do, I'm going to wrap up with having the commissioner go talk to the captain. No? All right.
I got nothing.
Oh, cool.
Yep. No, I'm good.
All right. So the commissioner contacts Ambrose, and it requests a meeting. I assume you're not going to deny him the meeting.
Yeah.
He arrives in your ready room. If I can figure out where it was. There it is. There, ready room. Thank you for meeting with me again, Captain Ambrose. My apologies.
Still getting used to it myself.
Yes.
Have a seat, Commissioner.
Thank you. It is my finding, I'll get right to the point, that Ensign Yezebeth Chirka Hage needs a great deal more care than I think you can provide aboard this ship. I'm going to put in a request to have her transferred back to Trill permanently. There she can seek the proper help necessary to have the Hage symbiote cared for properly.
With all due respect, Commissioner, I hope you're not placing an overabundance of preference on the symbiote over the young woman and fine Starfleet officer that is also in this situation.
I believe that it is my job, in fact, to place the symbiote's well-being over that of any individual host. But I am not ignoring the needs of the host either. Ensign Elizabeth has never been prepared for this and does not have the mental acuities that we require from our hosts. She has disqualifying factors. We cannot remove the symbiote. That would be cruel. But we can provide an environment of nurturing and support at one of our many sanitariums.
I'm sure while you've been here, you've checked over the reports of the medical procedure and psychological evaluations, talked to everyone you needed to. But let me also say that Ensign Chirka wasn't much well prepared for a lot of the things that we've asked of her over the last year or so. And yet, she stepped up. She's grown a lot. I think this is exactly where she needs to be, because we already provide that environment for her.
I take it then, Captain, that you will be contesting my recommendation to Starfleet.
I think she is well within her right to review your recommendation and make a choice for herself. But she will be welcome to remain on this crew. And I will be advising her to consider continuing her career in Starfleet, as she has been so well-to-do already.
He stands up and kind of smiles. Thank you for your candor, Captain. You definitely get the impression that he wants you to fight this. Like he wants this moment, not this moment, but the moment that will come from this this action. If you'll excuse me, Captain, I'm going to make my recommendation, and I suspect we'll see you again.
Of course, Commissioner, you and the Commission are always welcome in Starfleet.
He nods and leaves the room. And that is all I have. If anybody wants anything else they want to do, now is the time. Otherwise, we can go ahead and end the session.
He stood up to have him walk out the door, and will immediately sit back hard and swivel on the chair again and just stare out into the stars and shake his head.
Right. That's a good place to end it right there. Let's do a wrap up. What moment stands out most to you this evening?
There were so many good ones.
That part with all of it.
Yeah.
The whole bit.
It was a good start to the season.
No.
I am so glad to be back.
I liked how we didn't roll at all.
We didn't roll at all.
Yeah.
We didn't really have any major plot points. I mean, the Commissioner is sort of a major plot point, but it's still all very like interpersonal ship relations, and it's great.
Right.
I'll say one thing that stood out for me is I really liked the scene we had with Danielle and Kendall going down the hallway. I thought they had a lot of interplay, and I want to see more of them in the future.
I particularly liked seeing the first of hopefully many butting heads between Mills and Koba in the armory.
That was good.
Oh, no portable proton, no phaser, whatever the fuck. No.
I love that. I love that Danielle's on Koba's side. It's going to be delightful.
That's right.
I like that we got to see. I like that we got to see the SSH come on again.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen the SSH in a while. And I
That
thought
was 100% no preparation improv. I need more advanced warning so I can channel my my Robert Picardo.
It was great. We need more of that.
Yeah, we do. I want to see more SSH, but it's a vibe I need to get into.
I'm curious as to what he says when he first appears. Like, the doctor is please have the nature of the medical emergency.
I'm trying to come. I thought I came up with something, and I think I said it the first time, but it's been.
I
so
think
long
you did,
since
yeah.
What is the nature of your logistical emergency?
Right.
Yeah. What do you want? All right. So, who best embodied their character tonight, in your opinion? I mean, obviously, everyone did an excellent job.
Jack and Tong, I think.
Yeah, I gotta say, Tong was amazing. I
love Tong. I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm really not. I'm tooting Tong, but I love playing Tong.
We gotta do another Tongo game. This time, getting Nick in on it.
I was considering suggesting we end this episode with a Tongo game, but I didn't want to override the poignancy of what just happened.
No, I think ending where we did was good.
Yeah, I think it's, but we definitely need to at some point for sure.
Yeah.
I also really liked the scene between. I'm going to continue calling him Maxwell, Foxwell, and Eva and O'Connor. I think that was great seeing all of them sort of really play the characters as they would play their characters.
Yeah, I liked that it gave me an opportunity to set up some Measure of a Man style questions when it comes to Eva and being reset and the doctor's willingness or unwillingness to do so. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Because I don't know where that's going to go. Like, I don't have a plan for that. I just kind of want to see where it develops.
Sure.
So, I got to say, I think Nick, you did a good job with all your characters.
They all felt very distinct.
Yeah. So, although all the interactions with Tong are hard to deal with, hard to distinguish characters because everyone just wants to get the hell away from Tong.
Well, Foxwell's actually going to search him out later because he does need to.
I think Tong was fun.
I love Tong.
I definitely wasn't trying to get the impression that I wasn't trying to give the impression that Kendall was trying to get away from him.
It's just a lot when you first beam into the ship. He's already right there when your molecules are still combining.
He's shaking your hand as your hand is still materializing.
Right.
Be careful not to be materialized inside my.
All
right. So what? It's kind of similar. What moment do you think best exemplified someone else's character to you? Like, for example, Tong beaming everyone in and then having that manic moment. I think that is a moment that definitely exemplifies who Tong actually is. So do you have anything that would describe any other character that exemplifies any other character for you tonight?
I think Lieutenant Delphine with juggling the counselor and then jumping right into kind of concerned doctor talk / friend to Jissa to be like, hey, what are you doing? Stop.
Right.
I was going to say the same thing.
Thank you.
It's been a long time since we've had a real Delphine scene, but I think that was great.
Thank you.
I really liked her setting her boundaries at that date, like her standing up. You're like, you know what? If you're not going to give me anything, you're going to keep bullshitting me. I'm out.
Yeah. Jisa needed that.
I will say that I like that Jisa was standoffish because she's an Andorian and she's her own. Her own person, and I liked that caused that tension. I thought that was a very good moment, and I think it really shows who Jissa is.
That was everything I wanted out of that scene.
I definitely got more of a feel from Jissa in this scene than I think the whole first season.
Yeah,
I mean that in the best way. Like,
I think it was a good moment too because it kind of bridges where the character has been and what we've seen of her, and where you kind of want to make the character go. I thought was really good.
Yeah, she's previously just kind of been fonzing it up in the background, and then like some actual shit happened, and she has to deal with it.
Yeah, no, it's delightful.
Yeah, I also have to say that I thought that Desavi's moment, Desavi Onayat's moment with the commissioner was good, where she laid down the law. I am not only the chief medical officer, and I'm in the right, and you need to sit down and shut up, but also I'm the XO, and if you want to mess around, you're gonna find out. So I like that. I also
I will
really,
give Toba his hand-powered photon torpedoes, and we'll go raid Trill.
yeah, that's gonna
Breaking
end.
Yazbeth out.
Here's what we need to do. We need to say that off screen it happened. Like he got the torpedo, and then 4 or 5 sessions in, we're gonna suddenly need one. And then, aren't you glad I got this thing?
I also have to say that I really liked Ambrose. I think we didn't see a lot of Ambrose most of this episode. I thought we got just kind of hints of it, but that very end, that moment with the commissioner,
Mhm.
Ambrose was like, don't, you're not taking my people from me, and you can F right off, because she's gonna
And
make her
that-
own decision.
That reminded me of a very heartfelt, very important conversation between Ambrose and Cherka that they had right before that last mission, where he was like, "This is the point where you need to stand up," and she did, and that really solidified things with Ambrose.
Yeah.
So he was like, I mean, she's proven she's taken her place here. She wants her place here. She's earned it. You can recommend whatever you want.
Yep. No, I thought that all tied very.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it all tied very well together. I thought that anyone who actually listens to the last season and then listens to this will see some nice crossover and movement forward. I liked it. That was great.
And I hope it came across that he was trying to be diplomatic, but also don't fuck with me.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. No, that was perfect. What did you see from another character or player that you'd like to see more of in the future? I, for one, want to see more. I'm looking forward to the moment when the two Onaits finally have some on-screen time together.
It was hard not to say that I didn't want that, but I do want to stretch that out a little. So I didn't want that to happen right away.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to get
clearly
to that.
Dasavi has been very busy, so getting that moment, it's gonna be some days, I think.
Also, it sounded like Kendall's really trying to avoid her. So
yes,
a little bit. So does anybody else have anything else they'd want to see more of?
Yes, I would love to see more of Chief Telos, Chief the Tellarite.
Yes.
Yep.
I would just love to see more of him in general. I want to see him interacting with the crew in a casual setting.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that character as well.
I'm planning to do things. It just felt like we had something important to handle, and the "Hi, I'm on the ship now" isn't overly.
That's not a criticism. That's not a criticism. Just I want to see more.
There's always one of the drawbacks to this game. One of the benefits and drawbacks to this particular game of Star Trek is there are so many secondary characters that it can be hard sometimes to fit everyone in an episode, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone will get their screen time eventually. We did 27, I think 26, 27 total recorded episodes for season 1. I don't think we're going to go that far for season 2, but there's room. There's a lot of room for it. So, if you could change, does anybody else have anything they want to say about that? Anything you'd like to see from the player or character?
I want to see more of the Foxwell Eva stuff. I'm really curious to see where he lands on that side of the argument.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
And on top of that, I'd love to see more sort of in tangent or perpendicular to the Eva Foxwell thing, the Eva and O'Connor / Eva and Tong, because they both have a very different take from what it seems.
I look forward. Like, I know I gave a prompt for Nick there as how Foxwell would have been exposed to Eva from Maddox's perspective, and obviously you can do whatever you want with that character. I'm not.
No.
I just wanted to make sure that you understood his perspective.
Prompts are great. I have no issue with that.
But I like that there's a potential coming to a head with Eva and O'Connor and Foxwell. I think that could be an interesting moment. And I'm not necessarily opposed to going so far as to doing I don't know how it would happen, but like a Measure of the Man style episode. I just don't know what the repercussions would be of actually declaring Eva sentient. I don't know what that would mean to the game.
Right.
So yeah, there's
They-
it's definitely got some potential.
I know nobody else here watches Discovery, but they literally just had an episode that was literally all of this.
Yeah.
It was the ship's computer is gained sentience. What do we do now?
Yeah. I intend to watch Discovery. I just have to get around to hating myself a little bit more. I hear season 2 and 3 are really good. I just didn't like season 1. All right. If you could change one thing about this session, what would it be?
I get nothing.
I do notice there's a name on our crew sheet that didn't come up tonight, and Ensign Suktu Chilik.
Yes.
Jordan. My thought would probably be as
Oh, yeah.
a parents, in that he's probably already on the ship.
Okay.
But yes, eventually he'll be working somewhere. I hope I have ideas for him that are somewhat interesting.
There were a couple of characters I don't think made it.
Yeah,
Just David Costa. That was it.
Yeah, Telos.
And Varen.
As you said, plenty of time. We don't need to do
Yeah.
everything all in one.
Yeah.
All in the
No,
first episode. Yeah.
I thought I saw somebody else that didn't make it on screen, but maybe I did not.
We didn't do any Varen, but Varen's always been a background character anyway.
Right.
It'd be cool to get
Yeah.
her more screen time, but very niche situation, seeing as she's, a paleontologist. How often does that come up?
Right.
Right.
You had some opportunities. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunity to get Samara on season 2, but there's a lot of people needing mental
Right.
evaluation and therapy.
Yeah, we could see about actually making him a character.
Yeah, I have no problem either way. But
Yeah.
all right, anybody's got anything they would change about the session?
I will say I loved all of the just sort of interpersonal relationship growth and exploration. I think if I could change anything, it would just be a bit more, actual Star Trek
External.
external
Yes.
plot, external.
There were a few more things
Input,
I wanted to throw in there, but there just didn't seem like a good time to put them in there without breaking the flow of stuff. So
Yeah.
I did have a couple things I wanted to throw in there. Some stuff with Arlani.
Yeah, we're back at Stardock. We're back at, Earth.
Yeah.
It would make sense for an admiral to be like, hey, new captain, what's up?
Right.
Or like
Yeah.
setting up, or like the Daystrom Institute being like, hey, new guy.
Yeah.
We'll make
Yada,
sure
yada.
the next session is
New missions.
geared towards that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next session I think should be more, mission oriented if possible.
Yeah, we're gonna start ramping a few things up. We'll get some stuff with Silva going, and we'll start laying out the stuff that's gonna happen for season 2. As far as talking about the timeline of what's going on, there'll be a pretty big revelation as far as what's going on with the Romulans. I've got
something
stuff
here.
for the next.
Yeah, we
next,
gotta get moving. I gotta get back to my my Romulan bay.
Yeah. Yep. So
The only other thing I would critique is I don't think I hit the right. I don't want to make Kendall boring. I need to figure out something. I don't think I hit the right chord with her. I'm gonna have
Gotcha.
to.
it's the first time playing the character too. You'll find their voice. It always takes a little bit to. I think it always takes a couple of episodes to find a character's voice. So
That's fair.
Mhm.
I don't know.
But,
I've got an idea, but I'll talk about it with you off camera.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to add or comment or concern or whatever for this episode? No.
I'm
All
just
right.
so glad to be back at it. This was so much fun.
Yep.
This was great.
So Star Trek Europa will be airing every other Tuesday because I work a really weird schedule. So our next event, our next scheduled appearance will be I Lost My Phone, but in 2 weeks from time.
In 2 weeks from time.
January
2 weeks from
18th.
time. So that'll be January
It's
18th.
the 18th.
So 6:30ish. I think we're aiming for 6:30 as a start time. That way I have time to get on at 6 and make sure technology works because it never does. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to thank everybody who is on. I want to make sure that you know that you can find us on all the podcast locations, anywhere you'd want to find us, anywhere fine podcasts are given away free, including iHeartRadio. We're also on Pandora and
Audible.
Apple, Google, Audible, everything. We're everywhere you want to be. You can check out this. The raw episodes will be available on Patreon after they go down off of Twitch, and then the edited episodes will be up. I'm going to be doing editing this week at Friday, so they should be up Saturday. I'm trying to get the rest of the episodes up from last season on YouTube, but I did have a massive hard drive failure and lost a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh,
I have the uncut episodes, but I have to go back and re-edit them. The nice thing about it is I upload everything to YouTube right away so that I have a backup of something if I need it. But yeah, I was doing editing videos for Continuing Missions. They're doing the Continuing Conversations podcast currently with Jim Johnson, one of the creators, one of the project directors for Star Trek, and Michael Dismuke, who is one of the content creators for Continuing Missions. I'm editing their show as well. So when I was doing that, I lost a bunch of their stuff and a bunch of my stuff, and I managed to save everything, but it was I lost all the edits and had to do them all over again. Other than that, you can find me. I'll have a link in the link tree. I'll have my link tree down below. Check us out there. You can join both the Star Trek Starfleet Command Discord server if you want to. You can also join my Studio Tembo Discord server, which will have all the stuff specifically for this show. I no longer have this show on the Star Trek continuing Starfleet Command Discord server. I separate everything so that it's project based and oriented, and so I'm not spamming that server anymore. Other than that, follow me on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. Follow Jack on all the places. People's Ascension. I'd say follow everybody else, but no one. Oh, you can follow Caffeinatrix on TikTok. She's on
follow me on
TikTok.
TikTok. I do stuff.
Do stuff. Yeah, nobody else is on stuff, so don't follow them. They don't want to be followed. It gets weird.
Don't
when they have
follow
to get
them. That's illegal.
Yeah, they get restraining orders on you, and it's not a good thing. So, I have nothing else. If anybody else wants to say anything before we go out, now's the time.
Negative.
All right. So long, and
Night,
thanks for all the
everybody.
fish.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.